His laugh hits first, sharp, cold, echoing off the concrete walls of the private garage like it owns the air in the room. You feel it before you even understand it, because it isn't joy, it isn't humor. It's a reminder that some people wake up believing the world is theirs, and the rest of us are just background noise. His Lamborghini sits there with the hood open, engine coughing out steam like it's fighting for breath, but the only thing dying in that room is respect. He doesn't even look up from his phone, just keeps scrolling, keeps laughing, like the broken car and the young black woman standing in front of it are both beneath him. And maybe in his world they are. Maybe in his world, she's not supposed to touch a machine worth more than anything she's ever owned. That's the story he already wrote for her. That's the story he thinks she's trapped in. She wipes her hands on her overalls, slow and steady, like every movement is a decision. Her braids are tied back, face still, eyes locked on the engine like she sees something no one else in that room has the right to see. Then he finally speaks. The words come out lazy, like he's tired from the weight of his own arrogance. "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" His friends lift their phones higher, recording her like she's a joke they can replay later. "These," he says, waving a hand toward the car, "aren't the kind of cars you people work on." That phrase hangs there, you people, the kind of phrase meant to slice without sounding like a knife, the kind of phrase dipped in centuries of ownership, of walls built to keep certain hands away from certain doors. His friends laugh again, loud, too loud, because bullies always need an audience. But she doesn't flinch, doesn't shift her stance, doesn't give them the satisfaction of seeing even one muscle tighten. She just breathes, eyes steady, like she's measuring the distance between what they think she is and what she knows she is. She doesn't answer right away. Silence makes them uncomfortable, and she lets it stretch long enough for them to feel it. Then, with a voice low but sure, she says, "When I'm done, you'll know exactly who I am." Not loud, not angry, just carved in stone. He smirks again, not realizing he just heard the exact moment his world started to crack. The tools in her hand aren't just metal and grip, they're memory. Their nights studying engines by flashlight, their mornings riding the bus across town because the community college had the only shop that would let her stay late. They're the smell of oil and rubber mixed with the sound of her grandmother reminding her, "Baby, you got two hands and a mind. That means you got power." Every laugh in that room underestimates her, and that is the quiet fuel she runs on. She leans into the engine, fingers searching, listening, diagnosing. The billionaire keeps talking like she's deaf. He asks his friends which angle is better for the video. Should they put it on TikTok or just send it to the private group chat? Maybe title it "Girl from the Hood Tries to Fix a Lambo." They laugh like they discovered comedy. One of them even pretends to narrate it like a wildlife documentary. Here we see the lower class attempting to understand advanced machinery. Maury laughter, Maury recording, Maury poison disguised as humor. But every time the camera clicks, her purpose sharpens. She doesn't fight the humiliation, she converts it. She turns it into focus, into patience, into something invisible but alive. You can't see dignity building itself, you feel it later. A bolt slides free, a hose tightens, a belt adjusts. Her hands move with a rhythm that has nothing to do with them and everything to do with the journey that built them. She knows this engine like she knows the beat of her own breath. And the more the billionaire mocks, the more obvious the truth becomes. He doesn't understand this car at all. He only knows how to own things, not fix them, not respect them. Just buy them and laugh when they break, because there's always someone beneath him to blame. Then something shifts, small, subtle. The laughter starts to lose its echo. The boys with the phones start recording less and watching more, because something about the way she moves doesn't match the story they want. She's too calm, too precise. She looks like someone doing exactly what she was built to do, and that scares them in a way money can't fix. She reaches up and twists the ignition key. The car coughs once, twice, then settles into a clean rumble so smooth it sounds like apology. The billionaire's eyebrows lift, not in respect, not yet, but in confusion, because he expected a mess. He expected a failure he could post, a lesson he could laugh about at dinner later. But now the joke is breathing, roaring, and it's not on her. She steps back, wipes her hands again, same slow motion as before. No smile, no brag, no need, just truth. He finally looks at her, really looks. The first real eye contact since she walked in. But now it's not because she's in his way. It's because she didn't stay in the place he built for her. He forces a chuckle, trying to glue the scene back into the shape he needs. Well, he says, guess even a broken clock is right twice a day. His friends laugh, but it's weaker now, cracking at the edges. A few lower their phones. One looks down at his shoes. That's the thing about cruelty. It's only fun when you're sure the target stays small. She leans in just enough for only him to hear. That car wasn't broken, she says, just misunderstood. Then she lets the words breathe, lets them find the mirror hiding inside them, kind of like people. She walks away, not rushed, not bothered. The keys are still in the ignition, engine still humming, but the air in the room has changed. All that confidence they wore like jewelry starts to feel like weight, because now they're alone with the truth. Power looks different when it's earned, not handed down. He watches her go, lips parted but no words found. He came for content. He got a reflection, and the worst part, he can't delete it. The car keeps running, the silence does too. And this is only the beginning. He keeps talking because silence scares him. The quiet reminds him that money can't buy respect, so he fills the room with his voice, his ego, his need to feel taller than the girl fixing the thing he can't live without. He paces around the Lamborghini like it's a crown he earned, not a toy he bought. He taps the side mirror, checks his reflection in the door, fixes a strand of his perfect hair, and says the kind of line rich men think is poetry. That engine alone costs more than your whole family tree. He laughs at his own joke. His friends laugh harder because that's what rich friends do, echo the king so they can stay inside the castle. But the only sound that really matters is the slow, steady clicking of her tools. Tight, precise, patient. She doesn't even glance up, doesn't give him 1 inch of reaction, and that bothers him. He keeps talking anyway. You know, I could buy 10 of these if I wanted. I could buy the whole shop. I could buy the company that makes your jumpsuit. That's what people like me do. We build the world. She hears it, every word. But she also hears the engine, the vibration under her fingertips, the pulse of something built with skill, not with arrogance. She knows the truth he'll never say out loud. People like him buy the world. People like her make sure it doesn't fall apart. But she doesn't waste breath trying to teach a man who thinks money equals wisdom. She lets the work speak. He mistakes her discipline for weakness, thinks silence means she has no voice, thinks calm means she has no fire, but that's what he's never learned. Real power doesn't have to shout. Real power doesn't need witnesses. Real power just does the job so well the world has to pay attention. She tightens the final bolt, wipes the sweat from her forehead with the back of her wrist. Her hands aren't shaking. They never do when she's doing what she was born to do. He steps closer, looking down like he's inspecting her work, but really he's just making sure he still looks bigger in the frame of the phone camera. Another joke leaves his mouth. Another round of laughter follows. But his voice cracks just a little now, like he can sense something he can't define, something slipping. When she stands up, the job is done. The engine is quiet. The steam is gone. The machine is waiting like a beast leashed but breathing. She doesn't bow, doesn't smile, just places the keys in his hand, palm open, no fear, no need for approval. A simple, honest gesture. He wanted a servant. What he gets is a mirror. He stares at the keys like they're heavier than before, like the metal now holds a truth he didn't agree to carry. His ego pushes back. You sure you didn't break something? He says, loud enough for his friends to hear. Last thing I need is a lawsuit from some novice mechanic who thinks she knows what she's doing. The boys laugh again, but this time the sound is thinner. It has cracks in it, like the joke is starting to turn on them. She finally speaks, and her voice is a calm blade. I didn't fix the car for you, she says. I fixed it for the machine. It deserved better than the driver. There it is, clean, sharp, truth wrapped in grace. No curse words, no shouting, just a sentence that cuts deeper than anything he's ever been told, because it comes from someone he believed was beneath him. His smirk twitches, then falls. For the first time, his face has no pose, no filter, no protection, just a flash of confusion, then something else, something close to shame, but he doesn't know the language for it. He looks at her, and for a second it feels like he's seeing her for the first time, not the overalls, not the grease on her skin, not the label he wanted to give her, just her. A whole person standing in front of him, with nothing to prove to a man who has everything but character. The air shifts, not loud, not obvious, but everyone in the room feels it. Even his friends stop recording. The phone lenses drop. The jokes fade, because they all know what just happened, even if they'll never say it out loud. She just took back the ground he thought he owned. And she didn't need a speech. She didn't need a crowd. She didn't even need to touch him. All she needed was the truth. But here's the part he doesn't see coming. The reveal. The moment that twists the story and snaps the power line in half. The part where the person he thought was nobody becomes the exact somebody who destroys the lie he lives inside. It starts when he turns the key. The engine purrs like a heartbeat, flawless, strong, the loudest silence he's ever heard. He revs it once, like he's trying to confirm the balance of the world is still in his favor. It is not. That car doesn't roar for him anymore. It roars because she made it whole. He should thank her, he knows it, but gratitude is a language he never learned. So instead, he clears his throat and says, "Well, guess it's fine, fine," that's all he can give. A word as empty as the man who said it. She turns away, ready to walk out of the garage, ready to leave him with his car, his money, his hollow pride. But right before she reaches the door, he says, "Wait." Just one word, not a command, not a threat, something closer to confusion, maybe even curiosity. Because in the space of those few minutes, he realized something he never expected. Her silence wasn't weakness, it was strength, and now he wants to know why. But she doesn't stop walking, because she doesn't owe answers to a man who only listens after he loses. She leaves him standing next to a machine that finally runs right, and a world inside him that suddenly doesn't. He watches her go, feeling something he has never felt before. A small, unfamiliar weight. Could be respect, could be humility, could be the first crack in his mirror. Either way, he has no idea what's about to happen next. No idea who she really is. No idea what that truth is about to cost him. And the truth, the real story, hasn't even started yet. Because power is about to change hands. He turns the key like he expects the engine to argue with him, to sputter, to fail, to give him another reason to laugh at the woman he spent the past hour trying to belittle. But it doesn't. The engine responds like it has been waiting for a worthy touch. It doesn't cough. It doesn't hesitate. It comes alive, smooth, clean, steady, a roar that feels less like a machine and more like a heartbeat finally freed. Her work doesn't just fix the car. It restores its pride. He hears it. He feels it, but pride is a wall, and his is still standing tall. So instead of thanking her, instead of admitting what's true, he settles for a stiff nod, like he's doing her a favor by acknowledging excellence. His friends stare too. They know the car has never sounded that perfect before. They feel the difference but refuse to speak it. If they compliment her, it means they have to downgrade him. And loyalty in their world is not about truth, but always about weight, who has it and who doesn't. He tries to act like he expected it to work, tries to play cool, but the cool doesn't land. Not this time. Something is shifting, and his ego feels it long before his mind understands it. She steps back, removing her gloves slowly, like she's peeling off more than just latex. She's peeling off the role he assumed she belonged in. The role he assigned her. She doesn't look tired. She doesn't look nervous. She looks like somebody who came here knowing this moment was waiting. Then the garage door starts to open. It's loud, mechanical, sudden, his face twists. This wasn't part of his plan. A gust of air sweeps through the space, rolling dust across the floor like a drumroll. And then cameras. A full news crew enters, lights, mics. A man in a suit steps forward with a clipboard and a badge clipped to his jacket. The billionaire blinks. His friends look around, confused, unsure if they should keep joking or start hiding. The mechanic doesn't flinch. She just steps to the side slowly, leaving the spotlight exactly where it belongs. On him, on the car, on the truth about to snap the world in half. The man in the suit greets her first. Not him, not the billionaire, her with respect, with familiarity, with authority. "Dr. Collins," he says, "ready when you are." "Dr. Collins." The words travel through the room like lightning, but the first one burned is the billionaire. His eyebrows jump, his mouth opens, his brain scrambles trying to match the title to the girl he mocked. He looks at her again, really looks this time, like maybe the face in front of him just switched places with someone else. But she hasn't changed. The only thing that changed is what he asterisk knows asterisk, and what he asterisk assumed asterisk. She faces him now, calm, steady, the same woman he tried to reduce, now standing tall with the truth in her hands. "My name," she says, "is Dr. Maya Collins, lead engineer for Lamborghini's US Diagnostics Division." Her voice doesn't rise. It doesn't need to. The silence does the lifting. "I designed the very engine you just mocked me for touching." Every word lands like a slow-motion slap. His friends' phones drop to their sides, no longer recording, no longer amused. No one wants to upload asterisk this part. He tries to speak, but the sentence dies inside him. All those jokes, all that laughing, all that power, it evaporates, because none of it can survive the one thing he never prepared for. "Truth," she continues. "I wasn't guessing my way through your repair. I built that system. I know every bolt, every sensor, every inch of what's under that hood. You doubted the hands that wrote the manual you never bothered to read." There it is, the whole story flipped in one breath. The billionaire looks smaller now, not physically, but something inside him collapses. A structure he never questioned, a belief he never tested. He thought he owned the right to laugh. He thought his signature on a check made him superior to the labor that built the engine. But now the math is reversed. His money didn't save him. His pride didn't protect him. His friends can't shield him, because now the world knows he wasn't just rude. He was ignorant and loud about it. She lets the silence stretch, then delivers the final blow. "I was here undercover. The company wanted to see how owners treat the people who keep their cars alive." The sentence hits harder than any insult, because now he understands he wasn't just being watched by his friends, he was being evaluated by a corporation 10 times bigger than his ego. And the camera crew is here for proof, for record, for truth. Every smug line he spoke, every mock he tossed, every laugh he fueled, it's no longer private, it's documented, forever. His jaw drops, his shoulder slumps. The confidence he lived inside cracks like old paint. Power flips, right in front of him, not by force, not by threat, not by screaming, but by intelligence, excellence, and patience. The news cameras turn toward her, not him. She is the headline, she is the story, she is the one who earned the room, and he is the cautionary tale. You can see it in his eyes, the fear of being exposed, the shock of losing control, the dawning realization that the world is bigger than his wallet. He wants to apologize, but doesn't know how. He wants to explain, but there is no version of his behavior that sounds respectable in replay. She doesn't drag the moment. She doesn't humiliate him. She doesn't need revenge, because the truth already handled it. She simply says, "You judged the hands that built the thing you brag about owning. That's not power, that's blindness." His friends shift uncomfortably. Their laughter is gone. Their screens are dark. Their faces look like boys who just watched the teacher flip the test over and expose every cheat mark underneath. The cameras keep rolling. The billionaire stands there, drowning in silence, in the wreckage of his own arrogance, realizing something he has never had to face before. Respect cannot be bought. Character cannot be rented. And power can belong to the one no one saw coming. And now the whole world is about to know it. Because this story isn't over. This was just the reveal. And the real consequence is still on the way. The garage is quiet now, not the soft kind of quiet, an exposed quiet, the kind that shows what's left after the noise leaves. The billionaire who spent the whole day filling the air with jokes, price tags, and ego now just stands there, staring at the floor like it finally has something to say back to him. No phone in his hand, no friends hiding behind their screens, no forced laughter trying to hold up his pride, just silence. And the silence is honest in a way he never was. Dr. Maya Collins finishes the paperwork like this is just another Tuesday. No speech, no victory pose, no need to rub the truth in. She doesn't move like someone who *1. She moves like someone who already knew the score before the game even started. She signs the last inspection sheet, sets the clipboard down, and finally speaks. Not to hurt him, not to embarrass him, but to make sure he hears what life just taught him the hard way. Machines don't judge people, she says. Only humans do, and that's why humans break more than engines. He looks up, and for the first time there is no smirk, no defense, just a man who realized his voice was loud because his character was weak. He opens his mouth, reaching for the apology he never thought he'd need to give. Listen, I didn't mean, but she cuts him off, and there is no anger in her voice, no revenge, just reality. Respect isn't something money buys, she says. It's something character earns. That sentence hangs in the air like truth, written in permanent ink. She doesn't wait for him to respond, doesn't give him a chance to rewrite the moment. She isn't interested in his regret, only in the lesson he carries after she's gone. She packs her tools, folds her gloves, and walks out. No cameras, no spotlight, no crowd, just dignity walking on 2 feet, leaving behind a man who finally understands the price of the joke he thought was free. He doesn't call after her, he doesn't chase her down. He just stands there with the echo of what he did and the mirror of who he was. And that mirror is heavy. He has lived years surrounded by people who clap at his mistakes because the paycheck is worth the silence. But this time, no one claps. And for the first time, he realizes silence is not always comfort. Sometimes it's judgment. Later, long after the cameras leave, long after the laughter dies, long after the engine sound fades into memory, he sits alone in his office. No music, no party, no noise to drown the truth, just him and the thought that keeps replaying like a broken record. I mocked the person who created what I bragged about owning. He scrolls through his recent calls, past names of millionaires, CEOs, private club members, but the only voice he hears in his head is hers. That's when something shifts, not in his wallet, not in his brand, not in his public image, but in the small, quiet part of him that money never reached. He pulls up a laptop, opens a document, not a press release, not a statement to fix his reputation, a donation form, a scholarship fund proposal for Black engineering students, full ride, tuition, housing, books, tools, the whole thing, no press, no gala, no cameras flashing. Just an email sent at midnight with one instruction, anonymous. He doesn't do it to erase what happened. He does it because what happened finally made sense. He doesn't donate because he got caught. He don't need forgiveness from the world. He needs forgiveness from his own reflection. And that doesn't come from words, it comes from change. Weeks pass, the video never leaks online. His friends never mention the day again, but something in him stays different. He talks less. He listens more. He asks the names of the people who work on his cars, his house, his life. Not because he wants to look good, but because he now knows what it feels like to look wrong. One day he gets a letter in the mail, no return address, just handwriting on the envelope. He opens it. Inside is a single sentence. Never judge a person by the dirt on their hands, because the hands that fix what you own may belong to the mind that built what you worship. No signature, no reminder of who sent it, because she didn't need to sign it. He already knew. And he keeps that letter, not in a drawer, not in a vault, on his desk, where he can see it every day, where it can remind him that power is not in the things you buy, but in the way you treat the people who make life function. The world never knew what happened in that garage. There was no viral clip. no scandal, no headline, but something bigger happened, something quiet, something true. A billionaire learned the kind of lesson no business school ever taught, a lesson about the difference between ownership and worth, a lesson about the power of respect, the cost of pride, and the truth about human value. And somewhere in another garage, another city, another life, Dr. Maya Collins is still doing what she does, fixing machines, building futures, proving brilliance doesn't always wear a suit. She doesn't need applause. Her work is the applause. Her life is the proof. And maybe that's the real engine in this story, not the one made of metal, not the one fueled by gas, but the one inside every person who chooses dignity over ego, the one that runs on respect, not praise, the one that never breaks unless we let it. Because in the end, the real story wasn't about a car. It was about character. It was about what happens when someone with power learns the difference between being asterisk served and being worthy asterisk. And the moral is simple. Never judge a person by the dirt on their hands. Because sometimes the hands that carry grease also carry genius. And if you're not careful, you might mistake the builder for the help and lose the chance to learn from the very mind that made what you worship. Engines run on fuel. Respect runs on truth. And truth always, always comes back around.